The 76ers.
Yeah, the 76ers. The list is so long.
The list is ridiculous. We should have done is Sixers not on the list. Should have been the bit. But anyways, Paul Reed came up. He's got 2 years and $15.8 million left. I think Paul Reed is definitely more of a flyer than a player like Nick Claxton. He's proved less, but I think he could be the same type of player. So if you want to run the too big idea, I don't hate the idea of Paul Reed. And he can also shoot it a little bit. He doesn't do it on very high volume, but he is capable of stepping out and hitting a jumper.
That would be my question. Can he actually space the floor a little bit and give you more? He won't be 25 until June 14th. Again, coming out of college, he's a guy that you thought could probably shoot it a little bit. Shot 36.8% this last year. And he blocked a shot in 19.4 minutes per game. I'm intrigued by him, but I also think his numbers are a little inflated, and little inflated is 7.3 0.6 rebounds, but a little inflated because he started so many games when Embiid was hurt. So yeah, I would at least be intrigued as a guy who could potentially play alongside Sabonis.
Sure.
I'm just not sure that there's a big difference between Paul Reed and Trey Lyles.
Okay. I think Trey Lyles is better.
168, 169. Yeah, I think Trey Lyles is better as well.
Yeah, he's
more. And that's
of
where I would kind of put it. Like, I don't think that you're going out there and trying to improve your roster with a Paul Reed.
Okay. I wrote down Tobias Harris.
And he's intriguing, isn't he?
I know that anybody listening to this, anybody watching this is probably like, hard no, Tobias Harris stinks. Tobias Harris stinks because he's made so much freaking money.
Yes.
Tobias Harris has always been this like enigma and idea of like, wow, 6'8", scorer, he can defend. Man, this is the prototypical NBA wing. And then he's just been underwhelming at every single point in his career.
He is Harrison Barnes, just a little bit, like career-wise, he's going to be a little bit better.
Yeah, right.
And he's almost 32, like very, very similar player. 16.3 points per game for his career.
I would love, I think he's probably going to get more than this, which will probably take. But dude, if you can fit Tobias Harris in the mid-level,
oh yeah,
like he's going to get, he's probably going to get more than that. But when I put him on this list, that's what I'm talking about. Is you would love Tobias Harris on that kind of contract.
Oh, no, totally. And I think he's probably going to get more like what Harrison got, like 17, 18, 19.
Yeah.
Like that's probably where he's going to go. But again, I think he also has the opportunity to go play wherever he wants. And he's a guy who's tremendous in the community, who's given back a ton.
Mm-hmm.
I think him and his brother have a project in LA where they do all kinds of good. And maybe that's where he ends up. But you know how much he's made for his career?
$200 million.
You're short by 50. 250. 250.
That's crazy.
He's on a 5-year.
Good for him though. Good for Tobias Harris.
Yeah, man. He just finished a 5-year 180.
Oof, man. Like that's why Tobias Harris has been underwhelming. Is the contracts, not necessarily the play. If you can get him for like a mid-level type of deal, I'd 100% be in. If you start talking about 18, 19 million, I'm probably closer to out than in. Kelly Oubre, same kind of deal for me.
Yeah,
I like Kelly Oubre a lot.
I like Kelly Oubre too. I would want to know, again, we've talked about this, what Mike Brown and what Jay Triano think. They both coached him, and liking him from the outside, and then seeing him as a player, and like how he shows up to your building, what effort, all that stuff. Like how difficult is he? Because he's a guy with a personality that
no doubt
like stands out. And then of course, like we've talked about this, he also played AAU ball with De'Aaron. They're friends, and like the body style, the 6'7" long, athletic, super high flyer, like gets out in the open court and runs. He's a mistake prone player, but one of those guys that you're like, okay, I think I'm intrigued. He also like lost the ability to make a lot of money somewhere along the way. So he's a guy that once you take a lower salary in the NBA, it is really, really difficult to ever get back. And he's one of those guys who's, again, just the money wise, he was a guy of 15 million, 14 million, 12.6. This last year with the 76ers, he made $2 million. And so that's crazy. I would expect him to make a little bit more, but Could you get him for a biannual exception? Maybe like 4.7.
Mm.
Like I don't know.
He's probably gonna get more than that, but I'd give him part of your mid level for sure.
Well, maybe not though. I mean, like, look, once the guy comes down in salary, a lot of times he doesn't get to go back up. And at 28 years old, like, he would improve your depth and give you something unique and different.
Yeah.
So
I'm right there. D'Anthony Melton, a favorite of our guy Mitch in New Jersey. I think you have to throw him in the potential Malik Monk replacement bucket.
yeah,
If we're throwing all these other guys in there, I think you have to throw D'Anthony Melton in there too.
yeah. You made such a great like statement to me. You did. You said like the players we're going to look at as a potential replacement if you somehow lose Monk.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did you view Monk 2 years ago?
Right.
And what would that mean? And so you put a player in the right situation and they can flourish.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know if you're going to find the next Malik Monk. But I would definitely say like Tony Delk was really intriguing for the Kings.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bobby Jackson came along, was just so much better.
Sure.
Like, not really. Like they were both really good in their role for the Kings.
Yeah.
But there's another guy out there that possibly, if you do lose Malik, hopefully you don't, but if you do, that could fit in and maybe like develop in the same way.
If they have to replace Malik, they're not adding a 6th man of the year candidate.
No.
Like, that's just not. It's going to be a player that feels underwhelming compared to what Malik Monk did last year.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to look and we're going to go, wow, this guy's 9 points and 2.4 assists for his career. I don't know. And you hope that he grows into that role. Like that's just kind of what it's going to be. So I think you have to put D'Anthony Melton there. I wrote down Robert Covington because I remember Robert Covington playing basketball like 7 years ago, and I think it'd be a nice fit.
Yeah, if they would have got him 5 years ago, it would have been great. But at this point, tough watch.
Training camp flyer maybe, but and then KJ Martin, another guy I would take a flyer on for sure.
Yeah, I definitely would at least look at him. Mm-hmm. He's in that group of players that the Kings need to find one of those guys.
Yes, yeah. So I would definitely love to see KJ Martin here as well. All right, that's it. That does it. That's the Atlantic Division. We've done it. Congratulations, James. We have put together a full list, and I will, like I said, I'm going to figure out a way to get this list out so it's available for people to mess with and tear apart and like and dislike and all that jazz.